Welcome to Dreamlit Tales, where every story is a quiet place to rest your mind and wander through imagination. If you enjoy peaceful stories and calm narration, please like this video and subscribe to join our cozy corner of dreamers. Now get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin tonight's story. The Brave Little Tailor. One bright summer morning, a cheerful little tailor sat at his work table by the window, stitching away with great enthusiasm. Outside, a woman's voice called down the street, "Good jams, cheap! Fresh jam, cheap!" The words caught the tailor's ear. He leaned out the window and called, "Come up here, good woman! You'll find a willing customer!" Up she came, panting from the weight of her basket. The tailor inspected every jar, sniffing and examining each one with care. At last he said, "The jam seems fine. Measure me out 4 ounces. If it's a little over, that's all right." The woman, hoping for a big sale, was disappointed by such a small order and left grumbling under her breath. "Now," said the little tailor, "may this jam be blessed and give me strength." He cut a thick slice of bread, spread the jam generously, and placed it beside him to enjoy later, just after he finished sewing his jacket. But the smell of jam drifted up into the warm air, attracting a swarm of flies. They descended greedily. "Hey, who invited you?" cried the tailor, shooing them away. Yet they kept returning, more and more of them. Losing patience, he snatched a piece of cloth from under his table and struck them hard. When he lifted it again, 7 flies lay dead. "7 in one blow," he exclaimed, amazed at his own bravery. "The world must know of this." He quickly made himself a belt, embroidered in bold letters, "7 at one blow." Proud and inspired, the tailor decided the world was far too small for his courage. So he packed what little he owned, an old piece of cheese and a small bird he rescued from a bush, and set out to seek his fortune. The tailor's journey led him up a mountain where he met a huge giant sitting peacefully, watching the valley below. "Good day, friend," said the tailor. "You seem to see the world from here. I'm on my way to find my luck. Care to join me?" The giant sneered. "You miserable little man." "Oh, really?" the tailor replied. He opened his coat, revealing his embroidered belt. "Read this, and you'll see what kind of man I am." The giant read, 7 at one blow. He blinked, imagining the tailor had slain 7 men. A flicker of respect replaced his mockery. Still, the giant decided to test him. Picking up a stone, he crushed it in his hand until water dripped out. "Do that," said the giant. "That's easy," said the tailor. He pulled out his cheese and squeezed it until liquid oozed from it. "Better than yours, don't you think?" The giant frowned. Next he threw a stone so high it disappeared into the clouds. "Now you try," he said. "Well thrown," said the tailor. "But your stone came back down. I'll throw one that won't return." He released the bird he'd been carrying and it flew far, far away. "How's that?" asked the tailor. The giant, now both impressed and confused, said, "You're a clever one, but let's see if you can carry something heavy." He led the tailor to a massive oak that had fallen in the forest. "Help me carry it out," said the giant. "Gladly," said the tailor. "You take the trunk, I'll manage the branches. They're the heaviest part." The giant lifted the trunk onto his shoulder. The tailor climbed up onto a branch and sat comfortably as the giant walked, unknowingly carrying him too. The tailor whistled a tune. 3 tailors rode forth from the gate, as if hauling a tree were nothing. When the giant grew tired and dropped the tree, the tailor jumped down, grabbed the branches and said, "You're such a big fellow and can't even carry this." Tisk. The 2 continued on until they reached a cherry tree. The giant bent down the top so the tailor could grab the ripest fruit. But when he let go, the branch snapped back and the tailor went flying high into the air before landing safely. "What's this?" laughed the giant. "Too weak to hold a branch?" The tailor brushed off his coat. Weak. I jumped over the tree to dodge the hunters shooting in the forest. Try it yourself if you're so strong, the giant tried, and got stuck among the branches. The tailor laughed, once again the victor. Impressed yet again, the giant invited him to spend the night in his cave. Inside, several other giants sat roasting entire sheep over a fire. The tailor thought, well, this is larger than my workshop. The giant pointed to a bed and told him to rest, but the bed was enormous, so the tailor curled up in a corner instead. At midnight, the giant crept over with an iron bar and struck the bed with one mighty blow, believing he'd crushed the tailor. Satisfied, he went back to sleep. At dawn, the tailor cheerfully walked up to the giants as if nothing had happened. They turned pale with fear and ran for their lives. The tailor wandered on until he reached a royal palace. Feeling tired, he lay down on the grass and slept. Passers-by noticed his belt. 7 at 1 blow. Word spread quickly. A mighty warrior rests in the king's garden. The king, curious, sent a messenger offering the tailor a position in his service. Perfect timing, said the tailor. That's exactly why I came. But the soldiers weren't pleased. If he can kill 7 at 1 blow, what chance do we have if he gets angry? They begged the king to dismiss him. The king, unwilling to offend the supposed warrior, devised a plan to send him on impossible missions. First, the king said, "In the forest live 2 giants who destroy villages and rob travellers. Defeat them, and you shall have my daughter and half my kingdom." The tailor smiled. 2 giants? That's nothing. I don't even need the 100 horsemen you offer. One who can slay 7 at 1 blow can handle 2. The tailor went alone into the forest, armed with nothing but pockets full of stones. Soon he found the giants asleep under a tree, snoring so loudly that the branches shook. Climbing into the tree above them, he dropped a stone on one giant's chest. The first stirred. "Why did you hit me?" "I didn't," grumbled the other. They fell asleep again. The tailor threw another stone, this time at the second giant. The 2 argued furiously, and finally, in their rage, they tore up trees and beat each other until both fell dead. The tailor climbed down, wiped his brow, and said, "Good thing they didn't pull up this tree, or I'd have had to jump like a squirrel." He pricked each with his sword to be sure, then returned to the king. "The work is done," he said. "They're dead." Hard fight, but I managed. When the king's horsemen confirmed the giants' bodies, the king grew uneasy. The king tried again. "Before you marry my daughter, you must capture a wild unicorn that terrorizes the forest." The tailor smiled. "A unicorn? Easier than giants." He took a rope and axe and entered the forest alone. When the unicorn charged, he dodged behind a tree. The beast rammed so hard its horn stuck deep into the trunk. "Got you now," said the tailor. He tied a rope around its neck, chopped its horn free, and led it back in triumph. Still, the king hesitated. "One last task. Catch the wild boar that destroys my lands." "Gladly," said the tailor. When the boar charged, he dashed into a nearby chapel and leapt out a window. The beast stormed inside, and the tailor slammed the door shut behind it. The huntsman soon arrived, stunned to see the boar trapped. The king had no choice now. He gave his daughter to the tailor and half the kingdom besides. The wedding was grand, but uneasy. The princess, soon discovering her husband's humble past, complained to her father. The king promised to rid her of him. "Leave your door open tonight," he whispered. "My men will bind him and send him far away." But a loyal servant warned the tailor. That night, pretending to sleep, he began to mutter loudly, "Boy, sew that doublet, patch those pants, or I'll crack your ears. I killed 7 at 1 blow, 2 giants, caught a unicorn and a boar. Am I to fear men outside my door?" The king's men heard this and fled in terror, and so the little tailor, who once swatted 7 flies, ruled peacefully as a king for the rest of his days. Thank you for listening to tonight's story here on Dreamlit Tales. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe for more bedtime tales, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what kind of stories help you relax most. Until next time, rest easy, dream deeply, and let your imagination carry you somewhere beautiful.